A beautiful night in Durham, wrapping up game 2 of this doubleheader at Duke Softball Stadium. The golden hour for TikTok. It looks fantastic. The softball's been pretty good too. 9-inning walk-off win for Duke in game 1. And we close out this doubleheader to open up the series. Welcome into Duke Softball Stadium with one of the legends at Duke, Ray Wilson. I'm EvanBudrovich. The story of that first game, clutch base hit, a walk-off home run. How do these teams continue that success?
Well, they'll need to find a way to beat these pitchers. I mean, we saw it in Madison Knight and Danny Drugmuller last game, a true pitcher's duel. I have a feeling we'll see it again with Cassidy Curd and Juliana Verney. So these athletes on the offensive side have to find good pitches. It was hard to do that, though, against Madison Knight last game. 8 innings pitched, 140 pitches thrown, and what a job she did to just keep this Duke team off balance. You use all 4 parts of the zone, and her counterpart, Danny Drugmuller, did exactly that as well. 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, and Danny Drugmuller did a great job in the circle. But it was Brooklyn Thomas, the hero, the freshman, came into the game batting 100 and batting 1,000 in the 9th inning, hit the walk-off 2-run shot to give this Duke team the extra innings win and game 1 of this series against Syracuse.
First career home run for Thomas, and that was perfect timing for Duke. Extra inning thriller to close out game 1. We expect an even better pitcher's duel here in game 2 because Cassidy Curd, Juliana Verney will get after it. And Curd, who has All-American type stuff, how does she find her best footing here tonight?
Well, she just needs to fall back on the preparation, fall back on all the success that she's had. She is one of the best pitchers in the country for a reason. Her ability to pound the zone, her growth year after year, and you'll see it tonight, Evan. Her engagement with her teammates, she is at her best when she is smiling, when she has the energy, and when she's engaging her catcher, Kyrie Rodriguez, and her defense behind her.
A Duke defense that went error-free in game 1. And here's Cassidy Curd, the multi-year starter, carrying the low. There's the Blue Devil defense. And this Syracuse offense under Coach Shannon Depke, a lot of chances in that first game. 7 runners left on base. A couple of changes in the lineup here in game 2. Jaden Burney, who was unavailable in the first game due to a violation of team activities. Good news, she's back and provides a nice spark in the shortstop position.
Yeah, now they are settled into the lineup that's gotten them a ton of success. Jaden Burney back at the top, the senior with a ton of speed, a ton of tools, and she passes the bat to Madeline Lopez, Angie Ramos, who we talked about in the first game being so critical to this team, but they will have a tall task against the lefty Cassidy Curd in the circle for Duke today.
The freshman All-American of 2 years ago has been up and down, but really good in the Tennessee matchup Tuesday. 2 scoreless. Strike control's been a bit of an issue for Curd early in this 3rd year, but when she's locked in, one of the best pitchers in the ACC.
Well, I think when you look at the success Cassidy Curd has had over her freshman and her sophomore season, now in her junior year, she has improved in so many aspects of the game. But now being the ace, teams prepare specifically for her, and I think that's why you see the inflated ERA, but I think Cassidy Curd is hitting her stride at this point of the year.
Jaden Burney gets things started, taking an early strike. Our new home plate umpire, Robert Bird, back there. Burney was the rotational piece, came in from Mississippi State. She was a special pitch runner, an elite defender in Starkville. This year, she's the full-time starter at short. And Coach Gepke said, you watch her in practice every single day. It's so fitting for her to be the full-time shortstop. No doubt, no fear in her eyes, and plays the position so well defensively.
Yeah, Coach Depke has talked about how good of an athlete Burney is, but also her smarts, her ability to read the game. And a difficult thing to come in and play shortstop at a high level, an even more difficult thing to get a hit off of Cassidy Curd, one of the best strikeout pitchers in the ACC in the country, gets the first punch out of the day, and it's just cheddar. Paints the white on the outside edge, freezes up Burney, and gets the first punch out of the day.
To your point, 70 strikeouts for Curd. That's 3rd in the ACC. And when she's dotting it up like that at 69, what a dynamic arm, Cassidy Curd.
And Curd matches up really well with Danny Drugmuller, and that Drugmuller can work down in the zone, more off speed, kind of has to change speed and use all 4 quadrants. Curd throws really, really hard and works up in the zone to both sides of the plate.
That bunt hits the runner. That's an automatic out. And one of the better leadoff threats, Madeline Lopez, the interference there for the second out.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Madeline Lopez using the tools, shows bunt, gets the bunt down, but watch it just sneak up to her right foot there. Easy call for the umpiring crew. Anytime the batter is out of the box completely, ball hits the batter is out. Second out of the inning for Duke.
I felt Rain Wilson, the former player, in that moment because you're immediately pointing for the out as this ball smoked to center. Ramos has it carried to the warning track, and that'll test Deanna Jennings, a 2-out double here for the Cuse.
And that's the approach you have to have your Syracuse. Be able to turn a pitch around when Cassidy Curd misses over the middle. I mean, beautiful swing, balance through the zone, and just drills this off the sweet spot. Deanna Jennings playing shaded to right center field, knowing the speed and velocity of Curd. Ramos turns that pitch around, and now Syracuse knocking on the door here in the top of the first.
In the first game, there were just 2 combined extra base hits, a little bit of pop here in the first inning. Part of that's the power of Curd as well, as this ball's popped up and out of play. Kelly Breen in the middle of this Syracuse order. She had 2 chances to put her team in front in game 1. And now starting her 20th game. A lot of time at third base and played shortstop earlier today. Breen carries this to right, but that's real easy. And Brooklyn Thomas, the hero of game 1, takes care of it. A quick first inning for Cassidy Curd. Her offense comes to the plate after this timeout. Get your phones out. It's Golden Hour here in Durham. Fantastic Friday night and game 2 of this doubleheader on tap. With Rain Wilson, I'm EvanBudrovich. A walk-off winner for Duke in the opener. Home run for Brooklyn Thomas. Juliana Verney, who's part of a dominant staff for Syracuse, has a 1.2 ERA. And Verney looks to continue that success tonight.
Yeah, we talked about Madison Knight in game 1, but ace 1A, 1B, however you mix it up, Juliana Verney is that for this team. The junior really matches up with Madison Knight very well. Madison Knight working east to west. Juliana Verney is going to work more north to south, use the rise, the drop, and the off speed. The key is to locate all 3 pitches against this Duke team.
A Duke offense that was held in check, but find some offense late. 3 runs, 7 hits in the opener. Remember, Duke was held off the scorecard in the midweek against Tennessee. It felt like that for an 8-inning stretch. And here's a ground ball to Breen to get things started. Quick work on Deanna Jennings. That's an area, if you're Shannon Depke, you have to love the growth defensively. 4 errors in the Stanford series. It'd be very helpful for Juliana Verney tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And when talking to Coach Depking, the defense was the key piece to fix for this week. They took a bunch of ground balls. They prepared. When you have arms like Verney, when you have arms like Knight, you're going to be in every single game. And when you look at last game, losing that walk-off bomb, you can deal with that because what you've done is you've isolated the top of this lineup. The top of the lineup did not win the game for Duke. It was Brooklyn Thomas, but here again, you have to keep facing this team all series long, facing the top of the lineup, and Amina Vega, one of the best.
And the top three in this Duke order are all hitting above 390 total as a group. It's a dangerous top third as Vega watches strike one. Verney and the Syracuse staff, that was only the 8th home run surrendered all year, and it was against a freshman who never had one in her tenure. Now the real question is, did they go chase the softball down between games and keep it as a memorabilia?
I think you got to. And even if you can't find it, you write on it that it was.
Now you find a manager, you find somebody to get you a softball out there. Good point. Where was your first home run, Wayne? Do you remember?
North Carolina.
Oh, at UNC? Wow.
Yeah, 1 of 2 that game. We lost, though, but...
Well, you started the story the right way. Hey, I hit 2 home runs in the game, ... and Carolina won the game.
Yes, yes.
Those two rivals will meet again at the start of April.
And actually that game we were facing associate head coach for Duke, Taylor Wyke, who runs the offense for this Duke team. Remember playing against her? Such a good player back in the day. I'm sure she could still chop it up out there today.
That Carolina staff, they've thrown multiple perfect games this year. They have 20 wins already. Now Clemson is beating them tonight, but it just shows that programs can change real quick.
Yeah, that coaching change a couple years ago, I feel like really reignited the culture in a different way. And not that it was bad before or anything before, but what Megan Smith-Lyons has brought to that team, brought to that program is a steady offense. She trusts her arms in the circle. And so whether it's Syracuse, whether it's Duke, UNC, NC State, Clemson, up and down this conference, it is a tough conference to win.
Nice turn for Ramos there for the second out. A tournament hosted here at Duke a year ago. The Blue Devils, couple of extra inning wins. And there's Coach, who you battled against, I'm going to say 2 years ago.
No, it was a little, I think it was
a
like
couple years, I guess.
7 now.
7, wow. The 2021 graduate, Rain Wilson, with us tonight.
Yeah, I'd have to ask Coach Wyke whether she thought she'd ever wear Duke blue, because at the time, I don't want to say the word hate, but man, it really, certainly felt like there was some strong tension between Duke and UNC. But if you're Duke, you're very lucky to have her and her mind and her brilliance, her work ethic, and I've loved getting to know her over the years.
Coach Wyke's second year here at Duke, alongside Olivia Watkins, the associate head coach, and here's Marissa Young in year 8, anchoring this program from the ground up. As their all-time home run leader, Anna Gold takes a strike. Marissa, who made some huge heights pushing this team to Oklahoma City for the first time last year. And here's Duke back in the top 25, battling Syracuse in game 2 as Gold almost hits her head coach. Yeah, Marissa knows it. Hey, I got quick feet too. I was a great pitcher in Michigan, don't be fooled.
Yeah, Coach Young can still throw it, and especially with Anna Gold, she can still move out of the way because it is very common for Anna to hit missiles down the third base line.
Anna Gold goes down looking, and a quick start for Juliana Verney. And that ends the first. Nice pitching here from the Qs through 1.
The orange and the circle have been good so far. Verney striking out Anna Gold. Syracuse looks to strike first.
Part of the support staff and ensure the health and safety of the student athletes on and off the field. At this time, we recognize both athletic trainers in today's game. A special thank you to Syracuse athletic trainer Tyra Lee Fry and Duke athletic trainer Nicole Segala. Thank you both for all that you do for each of your teams. Happy National Athletic Training Month.
Welcome back to Durham, starting this second inning of Game 2 of the doubleheader. Cassidy Curd in the circle for the Blue Devils was impressive Tuesday against Tennessee. 2 innings, 4 Ks. And you see the numbers a little misleading in terms of ERA, but when she's locked in, one of the best pitchers in the country.
Yeah, and she's had a different year than she's used to. Had a great time out in Mary Nutter in California, pitched incredibly well, but then came to Clemson and got beat up a little bit by the Tigers offense. And so trying to find that balance, but the numbers are higher this year because we talked a little bit about this earlier, but she is the one. She is getting those high leverage innings. She is facing the best offenses. And now, as technology grows and improves, everyone is preparing specifically for Cassidy Curd with more emphasis. The target is on her back. And so I think that's why you see
there's the best stuff she's got.
Yeah.
And Marissa Young talked on that. She said the Mary Nutter tournament opened her eyes. Cassidy, she can compete against anybody, right? You beat Florida, you beat Nebraska, you play some of the best, and that's translated here to the month of March.
Yeah, and what I love watching about Cassidy Curd is her ability to bounce back. And we talked about the Florida game. They get run ruled. She comes back, pitches against that same incredible offense, and holds them to 1 run. And here we see this is her bread and butter, the ability to expand the zone up with high velocity. Second strikeout of the day for Cassidy Curd, and just climbing the ladder in terms of all-time strikeouts for this Duke program.
Looking to catch her former teammate from last year with the all-time honors. Here's the bottom half of the Syracuse lineup. Taylor Posner, who's been aggressive swinging the bat early in Game 1. 0 for 4, but some hard-hit balls in those at-bats. And now facing the second strikeout leader in the ACC. And Curd has some work to do. Emma Lemley has 100 punch-outs entering today, so only 25 shy of one of the nation's leaders. Unfortunately, how the schedule rolls out, no Virginia Tech on the Duke schedule this year. And a pop-up for Posner that's out of play. And that's a fun place to take videos and pictures, right on top of the dugout.
Yeah, how about it?
Social media crew here at Duke, getting all the angles.
And just a quick shout out to the entire landscape of support staff for all of these programs across the country in college athletics, especially March Madness going on.
Crossover season is a bear, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of people involved, so we want to thank everybody who makes these things possible. Even the ground crew working between games, getting the field ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an athlete, you don't really see that. You don't have visibility to what happens in the press box, what happens behind the scenes, but these individuals stay up late into the night, get up early in the morning, and prepare for these athletes to go out and play the game they love. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that honestly wasn't privy to until I started broadcasting and being around the facility, but so many individuals that come together, and not to mention the parents that have supported the journey for these athletes. So big thank you to all those folks who support these young women's dreams and grow our sport.
It takes a village. The 2-2 fouled away. Posner, a good battle. Keeping one of our camera ops pretty busy over there. When Posner's locked in, and Coach Depke noted in the months of April and May, she was hitting at her best in her career. Had double-figure home runs in the last half of the season. She is in a 2-2 count. And puts a good battle. These are the type of at-bats that can unlock hitters, too.
Yeah, and against a pitcher in Cassidy Curd, checking out our camera crew over there, just dodging bullets left and right. But against a pitcher like Cassidy Curd, who you know is going to come with velo, doesn't throw the off-speed a ton. If you start to get timing early in games, you put yourself in the best position later in games.
That goes off of Curd's leg, and Cassidy helping her own cause with a kick save. You got to celebrate those moments, too, if you're the junior pitcher.
Now batting the DP, number 32, Kayla Segala.
And still with a smile on her face. I mean, if you're going to get hit, at least get the out there. Cassidy Curd just does that. And for Posner, a really good sign. Gets a nice piece of this one right off the right kneecap. But Cassidy Curd keeps playing. Wow. Nice job by Kurd there to get the second out of the inning and shake it off. Yeah, that's going to well up. You can kind of see her moving it.
Does that affect at all the thought process here with Kurd in terms of her length or distance tonight?
Yeah, potentially. I think that's a conversation you have with her between innings. And I have no clinical background, however, but with things like that, typically you're going to probably feel it tomorrow. Tonight, the adrenaline's pumping, you're moving, so they'll probably have that conversation. And if they get out to a lead, maybe they bring in Garner McKinnon or maybe even Danny Drugmuller if she's feeling okay.
That was way up and in. A 3-0 count to Kayla Sigala, who pitch hit twice in game one, the true freshman. 1 of 7 for Syracuse, and 3 of them get consistent playing time for Coach Depke.
One thing to kind of look at, though, and keep an eye on, Evan, is that knee was her landing. So whether she feels it or not in the moment, there might be some tension there that she'll have to work through. Now 3-0 to now 3-1 count.
All of a sudden, 3-2, dots it up at her hardest pitch of the night, 70 miles an hour. Cassidy Kurd encouraging her catcher with a nice frame, and Rodriguez. Looking here, 3-2. Does it again. 3 straight heaters for Kurd. A nice way to end the second.
In the top of the second inning, Syracuse had no runs, no hits, no errors.
Cassidy Kurd doing it all this inning here. Goes behind 3-0, comes back. Up and in Cheddar. Duke looks to break the tie in the bottom of the second.
Fans, at this time, we would like to take a moment to recognize all the cancer survivors, fighters, caretakers, and medical workers who are in attendance of tonight's game. If inclined, we ask that you please rise so that we may honor you in your fight. Thank you for joining us as we strike out cancer.
A busy night for Chris DeBow working that high first base cam tonight. Look at these reflexes.
Sees it, tracks it in, and right through the wickets of the hands, but
protects
honestly,
the equipment. That's
well,
smart.
That's key. That's key. And then to balance, oh, the thumbs down, but to balance the bounce off of it, I thought it was a great play to protect the equipment there.
It's not a Sports Center not top 10, but we have to appreciate some good effort tonight.
I think we should cut it and post it everywhere, honestly, but
Thanks for joining us here in Durham. Game 2 of this doubleheader after a 9-inning game 1. Walk-off homer for Brooklyn Thomas. Now Kyrie Rodriguez in the middle of this Duke lineup gets things started. Kyrie on the ground. Good recovery by Bernie, who's back in the lineup today. Makes a nice play. Bernie's been nearly perfect this year, but in that Stanford series, 3 errors defensively, which was a real bugaboo for the Syracuse.
Yeah, talking to Coach Depking in our conversation, we talked about it. We so appreciate her authenticity and what she shared about her staff, and she was very honest. She said, we need to play defense better. And at Stanford wasn't up to our standard. That's something we're going to work on. That's something we're going to focus on. I think we've seen that here so far tonight.
And with spring break, They came out early, back from California, spent the entire, like that was a point of emphasis every day in practice. We're going to take extra ground balls and perfect this.
Yeah, and I think for young athletes out there, young softball players, you're never at a level where you don't need to do the little things. You don't need to take ground balls. That is always a refined skill, especially at the speed and athleticism of this game that we play here between Duke and Syracuse.
And surprise, surprise, Oklahoma, the reigning national champs, they led the country in fielding last year.
Yeah, no surprise at all. And the teams that prioritize it, you can see it in the results. And
there's good defense from the pitcher. And Juliana Verney takes care of business. 2 quick outs. We even saw game 1 how hard it was to manufacture because of good left side infield, because of outfield play. That kept this a 1-1 game.
Yeah, that'll be huge as the game goes on. And I think what will be an interesting factor is as the night goes on, this infield gets much harder and a little bit more unpredictable. And with Verney being a drop ball pitcher that can go up in the zone, she's clearly already producing a lot of ground balls. That could be a factor, whereas Cassidy Curd, not as much. So we'll see how the hops play out as the evening goes on.
Tesmawa Olu pops that one foul, the UCLA Bruin transfer. Out of the LBC, her and Snoop Dogg from the same hometown. But a nice defensive presence at third this year. Pops that one out of play.
Yeah, and throughout the year when talking to these athletes about their teammates, how they're approaching things, a number of them have mentioned how big of a resource Tessa Malulu has been as a leader on this team, as a veteran who's been there before. So besides the on-the-field effort, Malulu has provided much more to this Duke program than just her bat and just her defensive skills.
She's staying alive here, 1-2. And a pop-up could end the inning. Nice play by the lefty catcher, Morales Alves, to wrap it up. Duke goes down in order here in the second. The Cuse rolling to the pinstripes here in game 2. Gorgeous night here in Durham. Duke and Syracuse in this scoreless matchup. Cassidy Curd back to work for the Blue Devils. Not just a flamethrower with the Sunsets, but touching 71 tonight. Curd and Duke, this pitching staff now 1 run allowed in the last 12 innings. And when Curd faces some of the best in the country, she has shown her best. Now, we noted the Florida matchup in the Mary Nutter Classic, but what she's done to 2 top 5 teams, that's what makes Duke dangerous come May.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have an arm like Cassidy Curd in the circle, down the stretch, you know you're going to have a chance to compete. She buckles down against these top opponents. Her stuff is so good, and she's proving it game after game that she's evolving as a veteran on this team.
One thing last year for Curd, it was learning to pitch in both planes, up and down in the zone. We've noted secondary pitch development, but as those things come together, yeah, we've seen it. throughout this year. That's what makes Kurt so special in year 3. Gallipo to start the 3rd inning, works ahead in the count.
Yeah, and sometimes when you throw 70 miles per hour, even the umpires can be a little taken aback. I think this one there's supposed to be away, but paints the inside edge. But when you miss your spot across the plate, sometimes you don't get that call. Doesn't make a difference here.
Would you be a fan of automated ball strike if TrackMan was integrated to the college game?
Oh, the little tap your helmet thing? Yeah, absolutely. I would have worn that out probably. And I probably would have been wrong a few times because here's the thing, it's hard. These umpires have a very, very difficult job. They're gonna miss some, we're gonna miss some, everyone makes mistakes. So I love that the MLB is introducing that through spring training because I think it only makes the game better. I mean, when you look at tennis too, it's so quick. And the ability to not have one call affect a game, affect people's careers.
Now, the counter argument is you lose the art of framing. You lose the art of earning strikes because it would only be based on the square or the rectangle.
And that might be true, but if you have a limited amount of challenges to use and it matches up with the average amount of quote-unquote misses by the umpiring crew, I think you're fine. I think you still have that artistic piece that we love from this game.
As Lantier hits a slow roller. What a scoop at 3rd, but safe.
Wow.
Great effort there for Duke's 3rd baseman.
Wow. Tessa Malaulu. What a job here by Lantier to just deaden this ball in front of the plate, but watch the bare hand. Knows it's gonna be a tough play, bare hands it, gets a grip, throws sidearm. And Lantier using the wheels to beat it out. A great call at first base. So we give our umpire behind home plate a little bit of grief, but then another great call on the first base side to get that one right. Good softball around.
There's Jaden Burney with a bunt. Malaolu's got that one. And makes the 2nd out here for Duke. Talking to Marissa Young on this staff, it's not only her leadership, Malaolu, but her ability to invest in others, way more than herself, is why the transfer has been such a big addition.
Yeah, and her demeanor, the kind of billboard that she puts out by her energy to her teammates, she is selfless. She's a veteran. She's been there before. She's been a part of a winning program, and she's been such a value add to this team.
The UCLA transfer, multiple trips to Oklahoma City in her tenure. And this addition's allowed Anna Gold to move back to short, her recruited position. It's been a perfect defensive day for Duke so far. Game 2 of this doubleheader, all scoreless here in the 2nd game.
And I think if I'm Coach Depking, this is getting close to an opportune time to put the wheels in motion, knowing Lantier has some speed over at first base. Madeline Lopez don't want to waste an AB. If Lantier gets in scoring position, Lopez, one of the biggest RBI threats.
Making 1 and 2 on Lopez.
Yeah, just saw Coach Depking scratch her ear. Not to try to give anything away, but...
We got the sign stealer in the booth here, Rain Wilson, trying to pick some trends. Let's see what happens 1-2. Runner going, that's out of play.
Could be wrong, though, could be wrong.
Yeah, Coach Depking about as honest and a straight shooter if you're going to see in a coach. And she said point blank, our defense was not good last week. The bats were okay. But we have a pitching staff that can compete with anybody. We need more support on the other ends. And unfortunately for the Cuse, just 1 run in 13 innings now of softball. '85th career appearance for Cassidy, the Port St. Lucie, Florida product. She works here 2 and 2. Nearly hits Lopez.
Yeah, now the wheels will be in motion. 3-2 count, 2 out. So Madeline Lopez, if she gets a ball into the gap, a good chance Lantier will be able to get around to score. Big pitch early in this one.
The 3-2 Stays down, and a walk puts 2 on for Syracuse.
I think for that one, for Madeline Lopez and Cassidy Curd, that matchup, you don't want to let the best player beat you. Now, the issue is Madeline Lopez has had the best year so far for the Syracuse team, but Angie Ramos is coming off a screaming double in the first inning, so not a situation you want to be in if you're Cassidy Curd and this Duke team.
First pitch hack. Here's a pop-up. And Vega's got plenty of space to clean that one up. 3 scoreless for Cassidy Curd. Her offense led by KK Mathis when we come back.
Will be back in action right here in Duke Softball Stadium tomorrow, March 15th, when they continue play against Syracuse and strike out cancer. First pitch is set for 2 p.m. To purchase tickets, visit goduke.com/softballtickets. All right, fans, it's time to introduce today's guest PA announcer. Joining us to announce the batters during the 3rd inning is local 5th grader Kendall. All right, Kendall, take it away.
Welcome back to Durham, a scoreless game 2 of this doubleheader. And Duke and Syracuse in this scoreless matchup. Duke's won all but 1 meeting in the relatively short series between these programs. And after a dramatic game 1, Brooklyn Thomas, the walk-off homer. She'll hit in the 9 spot tonight. KK Mathis will face Juliana Verney, who's in the top 3 in ERA in the ACC coming in.
And so far tonight, pitching really well against this Duke offense, but if there is a bat on this Duke team that has been on fire, it's been the bat of KK Mathis so far tonight.
She goes through a big rise pitcher, a little bit of self-talk between the pitches.
I'm not sure. In fact, it might have been a situation where it's like, don't swing at the rise. She swings right through it and it's like, I know.
Makes the adjustment that time and pops it out of play. And watch after this first pitch.
Yeah, rise ball up and in here. Swings and misses. Oh yeah, I got it. She said, I got it, I know. Okay, so identifying the rise ball, swinging through it. And that's what makes KK Mathis really good. It's not just her ability to hit a pitch in the zone, but her ability to adjust pitch to pitch. The greatest hitters adjust pitch to pitch. Good hitters adjust at bat to at bat, and then average hitters adjust game to game. And for KK, she is a great hitter.
That time goes down swinging. Good pitch from Verney.
Broadcaster jinx there for KK, but.
Welcome to the club. 2 Ks for Juliana.
And tip your cap to Juliana Verney here. Up in the zone a couple times and then throws the drop ball that falls off the table. The ability to go north and go south and in one at bat. So difficult to beat.
A bunt attempt here for Baker with 1 out. Jada Baker getting the start at first base again tonight. The Duke team, it's been hard to find offense in this series. Of course, the 2-run homer to win the first game, but not a ton of hits. Just 7 in the whole series. And there's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, and I think the just based on KK Mathis's reaction to hitting that rise ball and the approach from Duke, it looks like they're trying to sit on that drop ball. They're too far out of the zone, but I like the approach. I think so far tonight, Juliana Verney has missed more with the drop ball over the middle of the plate. And when you make your eyes go low and you pick pitches down, it kind of eliminates the need or the want to chase that rise ball.
Did she go? And there's a strikeout. Rung out at first. And 3 Ks now for Verney.
And Evan, even if you're sitting drop ball, when you have a drop ball like this that falls off the table and catches the outside edge, very difficult to hold up. There, Jada Baker attempts at that one. And like you said, 3rd punch out of the night for the junior.
Here's the home run hero from game 1, Brooklyn Thomas. Found her best swing at the right time. The track man on that home run, 242 feet for Brooklyn to put the game out of reach. Takes a hefty swing there. In a busy ACC weekend, Cal is on the verge of beating Georgia Tech. They're about to be 4-0. Clemson on the verge of beating UNC. Some hot starts for new members of this conference. And now Duke at 3-1 with the win tonight. They're looking to take the series, although Syracuse has been a tough out. Here's Verney's 36th pitch. One gets the foot of our umpire tonight. A much different kick save than what we saw with Cassidy Kurd's knee in the first inning.
Yeah, and Robert Bird behind the plate maybe has some shin pads. Some umpires use those, looks like he does.
Bird's playing a bit of dodgeball here, 2-2 now. Yeah, how about the Apple Watch and the PitchCom watch back to back? Got to count your Fitbit steps and get the signs from pitching coach O'Hara. It leads to a hard hit base hit. Brooklyn Thomas in the corner. Her last 2 hits have been difference makers. A home run in game 1 and a double here in game 2.
And it just takes one swing to get you out of the funk. And Marissa Young has had faith in the freshman all year long, and after the walk-off bomb last game, Thomas is seeing it well. That's the approach that Duke needs to have. Backside ground balls through the infield, and then you adjust there. Thomas gets a really nice piece of that one, barrels it out to right field, lets the ball get deep, and passes it to the top of the lineup.
Where the ever-dangerous Deanna Jennings up now. This ball slips away, and Thomas with a nice jump to third.
You have speed on the base pass, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And that's not the reason Alves made that mistake there, but what it does is it opens up opportunities for defenses to get tight.
Good pitch for the rise, it's 1-1.
Yeah, one thing about that rise ball, talking to Coach Deb King and seeing it on the radar tonight, it's about 5 miles per hour slower than the drop. Just another element to keep these hitters off balance, keep these hitters guessing. It's hard to be on time for the 65 mile per hour drop and be on time for the 60 mile per hour rise ball.
Running a jam here in the third. Third in the ACC and ERA, and she's had some big outings early in the year against a perennial tournament team, UNCW. Goes the complete game, victory, shutout. And battled Stanford in 2 starts, did not get help for her defense in game 1. But here she is now in a scoreless game in game 2 of this series. Missing just outside.
That's a really nice take by Deanna Jennings, a really tough take and a really good pitch by Juliana Verney. And now this is a big one. 3-2, 2 outs. Do you pass the bat to Amina Vega, or do you get out of the inning if you're Juliana Verney?
Jennings fights it off.
And credit these Syracuse arms for going in on the lefties, especially the powerful lefties in Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega, going inside. That's something that's very difficult to do, especially as a right-handed pitcher, and they are doing it well tonight.
Jennings on the ground, this will be a test. Quick scoop, in time. Ramos with great effort, and Marissa Young to challenge.
Yeah, easy decision to challenge there. Run score if Deanna Jennings is safe.
Let's take a look.
Stays there and swings it. Doesn't move the 3 feet, but watch the speed. Where does she hit the bag?
Out.
Top of the bag. And that's something that's taught super early on, to hit that front of the bag. Not sure if it would have made a difference there. And it's hard to break your stride, your natural stride, to hit the front of the bag. That sometimes can even slow you down more, but there might have been the difference between safe and out. And it looks like Syracuse will get out of this inning.
Carly Rae Jepsen in the house here at Duke Softball Stadium as we play this replay.
And using the wheels here. Yeah, clearly out. A close play, but really nice job again by Angie Ramos. Played third base in game 1, second base here tonight. And then of course Gallipo, excuse me, with the stretch. Gotta slow walk it, you know?
What do you got for us, Robert? Call stands. And we'll take the timeout. 3 innings in, a scoreless game thanks to good Syracuse defense.
Let's hear it one more time for today's guest, P.A. Kendall.
I knew it. She does it before every game. Oh my, I don't know that about Maya. She always asks how it looks too. It's always fun. Sorry.
Who let the dogs out to Duke Softball Stadium? That dog's having the time of her life in a scoreless game here in the 4th. Maybe a foul. Oh, there's a couple foul balls down there by the chair. Man, Papa John's Pizza, bringing your dog to the park. That's a Friday night I've ever seen one.
Yeah, how about it? What a beautiful park to come watch a game.
Oh, that's what excited the dog. Oh, her best friend. Looks like that water looks really good right now.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, but a fun day. Duke a walk-off winner in 9 innings in game 1. And a scoreless battle through 3 as Kelly Breen, the third baseman, gets things started. Breen, first pitch hacking. We've seen that a ton from Syracuse tonight in both games, being willing to attack the first pitch fastball.
Yeah, and I think that has to be the approach if you're the Syracuse team, is to attack early, especially when Curd is over the zone, or not only in the zone, but at a decent height. When she gets ahead, she can expand. It makes it really difficult to beat. And a lot of times, young players are coached to not hit anything up, but a lot of times if you get your barrel out in front of you on a pitch up in the zone, you're gonna do some serious damage, and you're gonna run into one that'll leave the ballpark. Syracuse not known for hitting home runs this year, but they definitely have the capability against an arm like Curd in the right approach.
That's a great point. We saw a ball that doubled off the wall in the first inning. There's a ton of power in Curd's arm if you use it right. You do wonder on a colder night, all of a sudden, if that plays a factor. Not a ton of wind here in Durham. So the 0-2 to Kelly Breen.
And the key is, too, as a hitter, and this is just my approach, there's thousands of approaches to hitting, but to stack your body and not hinge. I believe you swing around the spine, and so if you stay upright, you give yourself a better chance against pitches up in the zone.
I need just my chiropractic practitioner. Yeah. That one's fouled away. All about spine mobility. That's probably why my golf shot's not very good. Although I heard the Wadu course across campus is fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to play if anyone has a membership there.
If anyone works at Duke and get me on the course sometime, yeah, I'd love to play.
Maybe Chad Lampman might know somebody.
The 1-2 is popped up. It's been a busy day of flyouts, and Cassidy Curd now 3 1/3 of 2-hit ball.
Next up, number 12, Layla Morales-Alves.
Hasn't necessarily been the overpowering stuff of Curd, but she's missed a lot of barrels tonight. Alves' first pitch hacking, and a quick line out.
Yeah, and to that point, Evan, obviously 2 outs in the inning, 2 balls caught in the air. The scorebook doesn't tell the story, but for Syracuse, the more you can establish timing, the more you limit the swings and misses. That's usually the sign that Cassidy Curd's at her best or that she's being very deceptive. The better off you'll be. And for Syracuse right now, getting good contact. The more foul balls, the more hard hit balls, the more likely eventually the data is going to show that they're going to fall somewhere. They're going to find a hole. And so if I'm Syracuse, if I'm Coach Depking, I'm imploring my team to stay the course, keep finding good pitches to hit, be on time, and get your best swing off.
Here's Taylor Posner, who's 0 for 5 in the series. That's a good swing, and rope foul. She had a great at-bat her first time up, 4 or 5 foul balls, and then hit one hard back to Curd. Very promising if you're Shannon Depke here in week 2 of the conference.
Yeah, and it's a long season, and for this team too, Coach Depking has mentioned that we play our best when our backs are against the wall, and she's had to bring that consistency every single day and treat every opponent the same.
This pop-up should end the inning, and Baker's got room. A couple of flyouts for Cassidy Curd, 4 innings, scoreless. A lot of zeros on the board in this doubleheader. Let's see who scores first.
Softball strike out cancer by donating to Duke Cancer Institute. All funds raised towards research and care at the Duke Cancer Institute. To learn more about the Duke Cancer Institute, stop by the marketing table. Fans, now would be a great time to stop by the concession stand located on the first base side of the concourse. Duke Concessions features a wide variety of food options. You can top it all off with a refreshing Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Blue Devils. While there, make sure to stop by the Duke Stores tent on the third base side of the concourse so you can show your Blue Devil pride by wearing officially licensed Duke merchandise.
A good start for Juliana Verney through 3 innings.
Yeah, Verney has been so good at mixing down in the zone. She's elevated the eyes of these Duke hitters, worked all 4 quadrants. And we talked about the Syracuse pitching staff coming into the weekend, and they have made us look really smart. We said they were really good, and they have been really good. 3 innings pitched, no earned runs, 3 punch-outs for Verney, and only 47 innings pitched. And for this Syracuse team, no matter the result of tonight, they've got to feel good about the arms they have in the circle, especially with Juliana Verney.
Between what Verney's done tonight, Madison Knight in game 1. That's why this staff is 13th in the country in ERA. They're dotting it up. Just 3 runs for Duke in this series, and their strike 1 to Amina Vega. Vega, who provides a true professional approach in the eyes of Coach Young. She loves her at-bats, her discipline, fights that one off.
Yeah, I agree with head coach Marissa Young in that assessment of Amina Vega. If there was an MLB equivalent, of course we have, which I'm very excited about, the AUSL and the WPF and other leagues for professional softball.
It's a good approach that leads to a single right there.
But to kind of finish that point, if there was that 36 rounds to pick from, Amina Vega's a first-round pick, and she is a professional hitter in every sense. I mean, so balanced, beautiful swing, finishes through, and she can hit all parts of the zone. Here we see it away, takes it right up the middle, doesn't try to do too much. And that's what makes her so good, the ability to get solid contact, even if after, you know, the game that she's had earlier tonight and then 0 for 1 today. Such a good hitter, hard to keep her off the base path.
And now a 2-0 count to Anna Gold, who's been held in check in this series, but she could unload at any time. 1 for 4 in game 1, then a strikeout earlier tonight. Takes a huge swing, 2-0.
Yeah, I love that cut. Under that one, but a 2-0 count, you are either picking that drop ball or you're picking the rise ball from Verney, and you are swinging at a beach ball size. And there she got the pitch, just missed it.
There's a big swing. Anna Gold uncorks one. The Duke home run leader adds another to her resume.
Look up, fans, it's time for a Duke t-shirt toss.
Well, that beach ball was crushed for Gold.
And oh my, 80 miles per hour exit velo. This one was a no-doubter. Holy smokes, I don't think I've ever seen a ball get that high up on the light tower. Anna Gold just misses the 2-0 pitch, but does not miss the 2-1. Duke up 2-0. What a swing by the senior.
43rd career home run, and that had natural light tower power to it.
80 exit velo. That's unreal.
That's like Mike Trout at Topgolf when he unloads and see those social media videos. Whew, Anna Gold's got some juice. Keep in mind, this Syracuse staff, only 6 home runs surrendered all year entering today. They've given up 2 tonight. 1 in game 1, 1 here in game 2. Kyrie Rodriguez hacking 1-1. That's crushed and fair, just inside the line. 3rd extra base hit for the Blue Devils tonight.
All right, fans, that was a double, so look out for it's time for a double bubblegum toss.
Yeah, Duke starting to connect on the drop balls that are a little bit too elevated. Missing too much over the white against this Duke offense. Kyrie Rodriguez makes Verney pay here. Again, balanced, elevated pitch, and drills it into the right field corner, uses the wheels to get to second base. And I love the timing to go out and talk to your pitcher for head coach Shannon Depking. Give her a break in the rhythm, and also diagnose what that was about. Was it the hitter hitting a good pitch, or was it a miss? And if it's a miss, how do you kind of adjust back to where you were for the first 3 innings? But when Duke gets hot, Evan, we talked about this. When Duke gets hot as an offense, they are tough to beat. And right now, they are looking hot.
And Coach Depking, who pitched in the MPF with the Chicago Bandits, a great professional and her standout, Ivy League Coach of the Year as well, understands how to work this staff. A quick chat with her arm, Juliana Verney. as the dance party breaks out at second base.
Yeah, I mean, when you hit a ball that hard, good mood, good vibes, throwing love back to the dugout. Who's feeling it right now for this Duke team?
That felt like a Bob Marley verse you just mixed in there.
I'm not sure how to react to that.
Little reggae mixture, oh yeah.
Such a compliment. Thank you, Evan.
Anytime, with Ray Wilson.
I'm a wordsmith, okay?
I'm EvanBudrovich. We're having some fun on this Friday night. There's a swing and a miss for Amaya Burgess.
Is this inning 13? Yeah.
And still game 2.
Yeah.
Some people have joked on X that we're playing a triple header tonight with all the extra innings. Here's a pop-up. This should be the first out. Ooh, nice recovery, because Bernie had some traffic. She said, hey, I called for it. But Latier was there to back her up.
Now batting, number 24, Tessa Malaulu.
You can see Bernie says ball there, maybe not loud enough for Lantier, but yeah, crisis avoided if you're Syracuse. And you get the first out of the inning.
A nice take from Olu. And you noted with that drop off, it's not staying down in the zone. It makes her pitch a lot more hittable.
Yeah, and right now the rise ball, Duke has kind of eliminated that. There, misses over the middle, and I imagine the approach is to try to sit that drop ball, but if she misses with the up in the middle of the plate, uncork. But when you have a hard time locating one or the other, if you don't have both against this Duke team, it can be really challenging.
A very active Duke dugout after the 2-run shot and then the double to kickstart things. The 1-2's crushed to right. Duke's finding their home run swing here in game 2. First home run in a Duke uniform for Tess Malaolu.
Tessa Malaolu takes this rise ball and gets the barrel on top. What a swing by the senior. You said it, Evan. First bomb in the Duke uniform, and you can see the love that Tessa's teammates have for her. The celebration. Duke is feeling good here in the bottom of the 4th.
2 home runs this inning for Duke, and the bats have come to life. 13 innings later in this doubleheader. And Juliana Verney, who had only given up 2 home runs all year entering tonight, gives up 2 in the same inning.
And to go back to the home run by Tessa Malaolu, this is out of the zone. But to me, what that swing represents is selling out for a pitch, selling out to hit the rise ball, and committing to that. And even if it's out of the zone, if you get your barrel on top, we talked about it earlier on the other side of things, but good things happen there. Malaolu commits to the pitch up in the zone, although out of the zone, gets a good piece of it, and has changed the game for Duke. And really, this has been the most offense we've seen from this team in the 13 innings so far tonight.
Now 17 home runs for this Duke program. Not driven by the long ball, but they're seeing it tonight as Mathis will pop this out of play. If Duke could incorporate this part of their game, the long ball, how dangerous does that make them through ACC play?
It just changes the approach. It changes everything, because we've seen from them so far this season getting runners on, but trying to use the short game and ultimately it not really working out. And so to have the long ball in your toolkit, you don't need to bunt runners over. When you have KK Mathis at this part of the lineup, if there's a runner on first, less than 2 outs, 0 outs even, you know she has the capability to change the game with a 2-run swing as opposed to bunting her, giving up and out, and hoping for the best at a different part of the lineup.
Sets up a full count against Verney, who's had a tough time in this 4th inning.
Yeah, Verney's stuff is really good, just missing over the middle of the plate, and Duke is on time. And so right now, Duke has the advantage, swinging it well.
Another big swing for Mathis, who had a pitch hit at bat, got a base hit, got another hit late in game 1. Her bat seems to be locked in right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen an at bat from KK Mathis, even with the strikeouts, even with the strikeout in the 3rd, even last inning, that hasn't looked solid.
Here's a slow roller. Got a hustle. Nice turn. Breen makes the play.
Yeah, Mathis is a competitor, and even when you compete and you put together good at-bats, sometimes the pitcher just beats you, and that's the game. A nice job by Breen. Charged the ball. I love that Mathis tried to sell it as safe, but
The extra umpire on the field.
that one out. And a nice play by Syracuse to get the 2nd out of the inning.
Jada Baker, first pitch hacking.
And it sure looks like the approach has now shifted to hit the ball up in the zone. And so that's the kind of cat and mouse game that you see in college softball, the ability to adjust as you see the pitcher's game plan, and for the pitching side to adjust as they see the offense's game plan.
Another big swing for Baker. Here's where Duke can find its home run power. 2 bombs in the inning. The 1-2, as the dugout is in absolute fury right now. They're having a blast down there at 3rd baseline.
Yeah, and they know what this means for them to grind out that first game, to get that victory, and to have it be the freshman step up who struggled up to this point this year to get her first career home run. That's a big win. Danny Drugmuller, well over 100 pitches.
There are some major
thrown.
LOL moments going on in that dugout right now.
I don't know what is going on. But they're having fun, and it's when you hit the ball like they have in this inning, very, very easy to have fun.
Another hard hit ball. Breen will rob a base hit and end the inning, but not before Duke. 2 home runs to get the party started here in game 2.
It was Anna Gold and Tessa Malaulu, the seniors, making their presence known. Duke up 4-0.
Join Duke softball when they host Florida State for a 3-game series, March 21st through the 23rd for Alumni Weekend. The series will feature post-game autographs on Friday and Sunday Monday on Sunday. First pitch is set for Friday, March 21st at 6 p.m. Tickets for the series are almost sold out. To purchase yours, visit GoDuke.com/softball picks. All right, fans, it's now time for the Duke softball t-shirt toss. Stand up, get loud for your chance to get a t-shirt, courtesy of Duke softball.
Welcome back here to Duke. The Blue Devils offense has come to play. 4 runs in the 4th and some monstrous home runs started by Anna Gold.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're seeing a lot of smiles around the ballpark, and looking at the data from Anna Gold's home run, I mean, first off, just the eye test, absolute bomb. But secondly, looking at the data from Yakertek, that was an 80-mile-per-hour plus exit velo. That ball traveled 265 feet on a night that we really haven't seen the ball travel a ton. But I hit 80 in college off front toss, and I took a photo of it, okay? So I took a photo of the radar, all right? So 80 and a bomb in game, so impressive by Anna Gold. Just speaks to her strength and ability as a hitter.
That's been the missing link for this Duke offense in the series. As now Syracuse will go to a pitch hitter. Kaime Tulua up for the cue. She had a pitch hit at bat in game one. Tulua out of Seaside, California. And she smokes one foul. Tulua has one of 10 home runs for the Syracuse offense. Best start in 15 years. Through 20 games and some work to do tonight. Because you give Cassidy Curd a 4-run lead and things get even more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And it opens up the opportunity for Duke to really feel confident going into tomorrow. I mean, they were one swing away, really, Syracuse was, from winning that first game, and now 2 swings later from Duke in the fourth, and Cassidy Curd's feeling that much better in the circle. And, you know, as a pitcher, as an athlete, you never want to play knowing the scoreboard. You want to play until the final whistle, final out, final call, but subconsciously you relax a little bit. It's absolutely real that you can start to feel even more confident in your chances to win. I think confidence for Cassidy Curd is huge.
Good battle here with 2 strikes. Curd was up and down in the Clemson series, but for Duke to be an elite ACC team, they need this version of Cassidy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weekend before that in South Carolina, getting swept here at home, that was a really hard pill to swallow for Cassidy Curd and the rest of this ball club. This is not something they're used to. I mean, granted, South Carolina is a very, very talented team. But anytime you get swept and really dominated in all parts of the game for the majority of that series, it can be confusing. And for Cassidy Curd, I actually had her on my podcast, Softball Speakeasy, last week, and we talked about that, talked about her vulnerability. And I encourage every young softball player to go listen to it, not because it's my podcast, but because she talks about the vulnerability piece, and she's so honest about how she deals with the struggle, and just so eloquent, and just such an incredible mind. And yeah, I couldn't say enough about Cassidy Curd, but she has her work cut out for the rest of the night against the Syracuse team and the rest of the series as well.
Now facing Gallipo in the middle of this lineup. And she noted in her conversation about playing with no expectations, playing loose, playing comfortable. A lead is certainly part of that, but in the last 2 to 3 weeks, her taking the expectations off herself.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's hard to not feel those expectations, especially, let's be real, coming into the year, her name was circled. How is Duke going to do? Because Cassidy Curd is in the circle. She is the ace coming from last year. And we talked about the expectations of the media, expectations of fans, expectations of her teammates, expectations of herself, and her final kind of summary was that it doesn't matter. All I can do is focus on the moment and have fun with my teammates, and that's when I'm at my best. And that is a difficult task. It's simple in thought, but not easy to execute.
Well, tonight she's gotten 4 innings of 2 hit ball, and her bats have come to life in the 4th. The 2-2 to Gallipo. Got her swinging. So Curd up to 4 Ks.
Yeah, this is the bread and butter. Movement up in the zone here. Curveball, lefty on lefty matchup. Difficult to compete with. Gallipo swings through a Cassidy Curd, 4th punch out of the evening. And looks to be at her best here tonight.
Another good pitch. Latier is behind. So Duke starters in 14 innings. Drugmuller and Kerr, just 1 run allowed. The preseason all ACC arm finding her form here in her second conference start. Just pumping it in, even late in the pitch count tonight. Kurtz 1-2. And Latier will see another. The Duke Bats have done their part in the 5th. And now leading on their proverbial ace, Cassidy Curd. Whose 2-2 is all gas. 5 Ks for Curd, 2 more this inning. How about this Duke pitching staff? 14 innings of work, 1 run given up in the doubleheader.
And tonight, it's been all Cass, no breaks. 5th punch out of the night, Duke up 4-0.
Okay, softball fans, it's time to get on your feet and flex your muscles for tonight's 5th inning flex.
Welcome back to Durham. The Duke Bats have come to play. This is a big stretch for the Blue Devils with ranked Liberty, ranked Florida State on the docket. This is an interesting 2 weeks here for Marissa Young's program.
Yeah, a couple key matches coming up, including here this weekend against the Orange. But Liberty, that's been a contentious battle year after year. And then Florida State, this will answer a lot of questions about who's primed to win the ACC down the road. And then at Louisville, there's a lot of history there for this Duke team. And then you can't forget UNCW, a tournament team last year and away. So, the journey does not get easier for this Duke team. Had a hard schedule so far this year, but Coach Marissa Young believes it will prepare this team for the postseason.
Yeah, with the new ACC tournament, 12 teams get in, and that could be a double bye preview. Top 4 will advance to the quarter, sort of like the men's basketball tournament, which incentivizes really good starts. Cal with a win tonight over Georgia Tech. They're now 4-0 to open their ACC careers. And here's Duke looking to move to 4-1 as Brooklyn Thomas works the ball downstairs.
Yeah, and that's why the matchup against Clemson last weekend was so impressive, in that Duke was really outmatched in night 1, run ruled. Clemson looked to dominate in all facets of the game. But for Duke to come back and win the next 2 and take the series and position themselves to do well in the ACC, that was so massive, not only for team morale, but just rankings and standings, like you mentioned.
And here's the newcomer, Stanford, who swept Syracuse. They're 6-1 in the league. And a walk here, puts a woman on for Duke.
Yeah, Brooklyn Thomas, since that home run, Evan, has looked lights out at the plate, seeing it really well, didn't even flinch at that pitch that just missed off the corner, and now turns over the lineup to Deanna Jennings, the veteran, with a ton of speed.
Jennings with a beautiful bunt. Nowhere to go on that. Deading that ball perfectly. And she's having the time of her life at first base.
Yeah, everything's working well for the Blue Devils. Here, Deanna Jennings moves her feet, stays in the box, and then just deadens this in no man's land. No play for Syracuse. That's just perfectly executed softball for Deanna Jennings. And yeah, I'm not trying to describe that other than just sheer happiness for the junior.
Now we've seen that Duke dugout. All different celebrations tonight. Amina Vega's turn. All it took was 2 home runs in the 4th inning to finally kickstart this attack. We had thought maybe the walk-off home run would shift things, but credit to Juliana Verney early in this game for keeping Duke off balance.
Yeah, and this is a game, if you're Shannon Depking, the head coach for Syracuse, that you just got to tip your cap to this Duke offense for bouncing back and responding. And yes, I think if you ask Juliana Verney, missed a couple over the middle of the plate, but you got to credit Duke for capitalizing on those mistakes, and they have done just that.
Vega with 20 RBI anchoring this Duke order. She wants 3 more with a big swing there. Catherine Rodriguez of Carolina's been red hot. 45 ribbies for the Tar Heels, the first-year transfer coming in. And here's the 1-2. Smoke to left, but foul. After Robert Bird got a couple extra softballs. There's the next pitch. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon, ACC Network, to wrap up the weekend. And what Duke's done late in Game 2, set the tone. That one's flicked out of play.
Yeah, and that type of swing makes Amina Vega very dangerous in that she sees the pitch away, too close to take for her, flicks it foul, and then just fights to have another pitch. And if you miss over the middle against a hitter like Amina Vega, she will make you pay. And when she spoils pitches on the outside, it's so difficult to beat her.
Off her front foot. It's 5 straight foul balls now with 2 strikes. This at bat all of a sudden becomes really good. Couple of foul balls, fighting off to 2-2. One of the veteran leaders of this Duke team. Gears up for a 2-2 pitch. Slow roller that could be tricky. Nice play for the first out. If you're Shannon Depkin, you have to like the defense, and then on a goal will look to continue her hot success at the plate.
Yeah, good defense doesn't make a difference when you're hitting like Anna Gold right now. This one, probably a home run she will always remember. An absolute moonshot. We talked about it earlier, 80 miles per hour off the bat. A well-timed meeting by the Syracuse defense to remind them of their priorities with first and third, as it looks like Amina Vega will get a pinch runner, and also a reminder, if that runner gets over to second and that base is open for Anna Gold, you want to be careful with her, because throughout her career, Anna Gold is at her best after a home run. That's the key you see, that you know she's seeing it well, and a dangerous bat in this lineup for Duke right now.
Gabriella Mike has come in to run for the Blue Devils, the Florida native, true freshman. And here's the career home run leader at Duke, Anna Gold. 43 and counting in her Duke career. A breakout song party has developed here in Durham as that throw skips away, allows Thomas to score, and it's 5-0 Duke. Good thought, not the best execution on that cutoff play.
No, the play here, Ramos to cut the ball off, but whether that was a design play or not, where Ramos had the option, it looked like a design play. You gotta make sure that that throw is on the right side of the bag. They're just a little far for Ramos, and I'm sure if you asked Angie Ramos, she said, I should have had that, but there, flicks off the glove, goes out in the outfield, and Duke scores another, now still knocking on the door with Gabriella Mike at third base.
Gold takes strike two. An offense that had been completely quiet until the 9th inning in game one. You get 4 here in game two, 1 more in the 5th. And now a strikeout.
Nasty pitch there by Juliana Verney. We talked about the rise ball, how it's about 5 miles per hour slower, and you can see on her front foot here, and just swings early on that nasty pitch on the inner half. A nice job there by Verney to get the punch out.
There's Kyrie Rodriguez, who's 1 for 2 today. Good snag by Breen. And there's the third out. 1 more for Duke, though, in the 5th. And a 5-0 lead through 5.
Please be aware of foul balls and other flying objects entering the spectator area. We strongly encourage you to keep your eyes on the field at all times. Please return any foul balls to the marketing table.
New pitcher for Duke after Cassidy Kurd's day's done, an effective 5 innings. Here's Sophie Gardner-McKinnon. The junior armed just 9 appearances last season. That's coming off a nice effort at the start of March against Elon in the midweek.
Yeah, and a pretty good sample size this year, 20 2/3 innings, and the second best ERA on the team. We talked a lot about Danny Drugmuller, talked a lot about Cassidy Kurd, but do not overlook the arm of Sophie Gardner-McKinnon. The junior has been stellar. She's kept runners off base. She's attacked all parts of the plate, and the win-loss record speaks for itself. 4-1 on the year for the junior.
Quality start for Kerr, who strikes out 5 in 5 scoreless. And now Gardner McKinnon will work up to Jaden Burney in the top of this Virginia lineup. Oh, pardon me. Sir, I keep saying Virginia because I think the new look unis kind of throw me off. A little orange and blue, but I like the Syracuse pinstripes. They look good. I'm having flashbacks to a game you and I did last year, 12 innings of 1-0 ball against Virginia. It's like the game cemented in my mind. Burney, who's 0 for 2, back in the lineup, given the game off in day 1, but her defensive presence has been really good at short this year. Although the Bats has 2 hits against Cassidy Curd thus far. So Gardner McKinnon's 2-2, gets a strikeout, 6 Ks for the Duke staff.
Sophie Gardner-McKinnon comes in the game and is doing what she's done all year, elevating pitches in the zone, letting the movement work, and their nasty pitch, arm side to Burney, gets her first punch out of the night for the junior Sophie Gardner-McKinnon.
Here's Madeline Lopez, third leading hitter in the ACC. She's been a pest on the bases today. But here in game 2, just a walk and then an interference call. She was ruled out. To maintain a 470 clip halfway through the season, that is really impressive.
Yeah, and you know, the age-old batting 300 or above. 300 is good. 400 is incredible. And 430 in a league like this and the strength of schedule that both of these teams have had, very impressive for Madeline Lopez.
Who gets on at the 540 clip. I don't care what league you're playing in, that is really impressive, especially in the ACC with 5 ranked teams. And number 17, Duke, carrying the load here up 5-0. Time call by Rodriguez behind the dish. Helping out her pitcher, Sophie Gardner-McKinnon, who gets a strikeout. Whoop, my apologies, does not get a strikeout.
Yeah, you know you got movement when you see batters like Madeline Lopez saying yes, 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 and at the last second saying no. That one, very close, super subjective call, difficult call to make. And we play on, 3-2 count.
Now a foul ball. And that shows the plate discipline of Madeline Lopez there.
Now, I think the key here for Sophie Gardner-McKinnon, especially against a lefty like Madeline Lopez, who's established she can hit pitches away, can you establish the inner half of the zone?
Another foul ball. Known as the quiet assassin around this program, Madeline Lopez, third-team All-ACC a year ago, looks to take an even bigger step now as a junior.
Yeah, she is certainly the spark plug for this offense, according to head coach Shannon Depking, and they will need her late in this game, down 5.
Good snag by Duke defensively, 2 quick outs. Oh, the synchronized celebration there. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that started. We had it when I played here back many moons ago, but I love it. It keeps the defense engaged with one another. It's a fun little...
It has a semblance of the Cotton Eye Joe, but not as sophisticated. That could be your next podcast episode.
The Cotton Eye Joe? Or
Oh, who coordinates the dance moves? Oh, yeah. No, I'd be all in on that. The softball speakeasy with Rainn Wilson. Angie Ramos hitting out of the 3-hole. She's 1 for 2 today. Good hack on 2-0. The junior pitcher for Duke enters in for Cassidy Curd. Looks for a scoreless inning. And she'll have it right here. Pop up to center. Deanna Jennings, no fair catch needed in game 2. And she's been rolling so far. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th. Duke on the verge of a series win.
Now pitching for Syracuse, number 4, Sydney Jackson.
We get a full moon tonight. Who's going to howl with me? Anybody?
I'll do it. 3,
Okay,
2, 1.
Howl! You just left me hanging there.
I'm sorry. It was just too good. I feel bad now.
With my partner in crime, who
Yes.
we may have to talk about that next week. Rainn Wilson, I'm EvanBudrovich. A doubleheader on tap here in Durham. And a new pitcher in for Syracuse. True freshman Sydney Jackson. And now she'll face a Duke offense that scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, I like the move here. Not a huge sample size, 14 in the 3rd innings. Has struggled with the free passes, 13 walks on the year, but a good opportunity for the freshman to cut her teeth against a very formidable offense in this Duke team.
Amaya Burgess and these Duke bats. 2 home runs tonight to kickstart things. And that bunt is caught in fair territory. Out. Hold on. Home plate umpire's calling something.
It looks like calling Amaya Burgess out of the box.
Yeah, contact outside the box. Good point. So an automatic.
Yeah, wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Still, I mean, wow. Kelly Breen has been really good. Or they, looks.
Oh, yeah, her foot's out of the box. Okay.
So if it was an illegal pitch, something new about this year is the illegal pitch will ultimately trying to get things figured out on the field, and it looks like the umpires are going to talk again. If it's an illegal pitch, the team it's a delayed dead ball, and so the offensive team, in this case Amaya Burgess' team, could decide whether they want the result of the play or they want a ball on the batter. Now, if the umpire called her out of the box, she's out. But now, imagine because they're discussing this, it was an illegal pitch. So it might not be in terms of technique, but it could be a time clock violation. Let's see where her foot is.
So the umpires are going to take a look at the review.
Yeah, this will give us a really good angle. Yeah, foot's out of the box. This won't take too long. Foot's out of the box, you make contact. Home plate umpire right on top of it. Robert Bird. I'm unsure what they were discussing. Yeah, nothing there looks to be flagging as illegal. A couple years ago,
with the back leg
a couple
pickup,
years
yeah.
ago, the leap would have been that, but that's correct. Yeah, so you're not allowed to review the batter out of the box on a bat ball contact.
Here comes the explanation from the ever swift Robert Bird. So since the ball was ruled in fair play, the out stands.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was going on there. If you call her out of the box, that's not reviewable. She was out on the field anyway. So, not sure. Maybe we'll get some clarification. Point is, the softball gods were correct. Maya Burgess is out, and we move on.
We got to the end result one way or another. The home run hero from the 4th inning now up, Malapolu. The team captain, the UCLA grad transfer, gets her first home run earlier tonight. And now looks for 2 home runs. This is hit deep, carrying and gone! Tessa goes back-to-back, and the Duke offense cooking here in game 2.
All right, fans, get ready to look up because it's time for another T-shirt time.
The first in a Duke uniform out to right, the second out to left. Tessa Mala'ulu is loving the full moon tonight. I'm sure she's howling in the dugout.
Well, somebody was on this broadcast.
And for good reason. Man, that ball was just found a hole, but Mala'ulu finding ways to win.
Aggressive runner, and she's tagged out. KK Mathis looking to stretch 1 into 2. And there's the second out of the inning.
Number 25, Jada Baker.
And this is a really good sign if you're Duke. Parts of your order showing off the power. The senior in her final year.
And we'll give you a sense of the base running here.
Yeah, KK Mathis gets one off the end of the bat. Madeline Lopez juggles it a little bit, but a really nice key playing, nice throw inside, nice tag there.
Couldn't apply a more perfect tag.
Perfect tag. KK Mathis trying to stretch it. And honestly, at this point of the game, not a bad idea to be aggressive, but there, nice job by Syracuse to bounce back.
On a play like that, knowing the runner has to turn and tag, do you consider a head-first slide in that situation?
I think it's a player-to-player preference thing. I mean, now that we have video review and now that we have the oven mitts to use, I think if I'm playing now, I'm head-first sliding every chance I get. But you also don't want to risk it if you're getting hurt. As a coach, I don't think I'd ever force a player to do the head-first slide unless they felt comfortable and it's something that they've practiced.
What a great breaking pitch from Sydney Jackson, and she gets through the 6th. Wrapping up this doubleheader tonight. Duke 3 outs from a series win, but it all starts with the UCLA grad transfer making her presence felt. Big swing here.
Oh, Tessa Mala'ulu. Second bomb of the night, second bomb in a Duke uniform. Duke up big.
Fun night to be a Batgirl in the Duke dugout. 3 home runs for the Blue Devils. And a 6-run start, a couple outs away from wrapping up game 2 of this series.
Yeah, and they got to feel good about how they've adjusted game to game, inning to inning. And, you know, for the first 13 innings, really, of this series tonight, Duke's offense was very quiet. But in the last 3, they have been very loud. A couple bombs off the bat of Tessa Mala'ulu.
And some first pitch contact for Sophie Gardner-McKinnon, who compliments Cassidy Curd in the circle. Game 3 and the final game of this series tomorrow at 2 o'clock on ACC Network. Got Osterman, Kevin Fitzgerald covering you, with Chad Lampin producing it away.
Yeah, that'll be a fun watch. I'm certainly going to tune in. One of the game's legends in Kat Osterman. I think I had a poster of the 04 USA softball team, which she was a part of, a bunch of other legends on my wall until I was 27, which is I am 27.
Yeah, I was going to say yesterday.
So,
there's a hit by pitch to put a runner on for Syracuse.
Yeah, there with the arm guard, that's the one piece of the game that has changed over the years, is no fear to keep the elbow out there. And now one caveat to that is if the elbow is in the strike zone at all, in that case was not, if the elbow is in the strike zone, it's a strike. Even if it hits the batter there, doesn't make a difference, and it looks like Syracuse will pinch run, get some speed on the base paths.
Sophia Talaferro in to run for the Cuse. And here's Taylor Posner. Aggressive swing there to start her, what could be her final at bat. Now 0 for 6 in the series. Watch out. Coach Depking with some quick reactions. She's standing about as far back as you can. You know the power of Posner when you're 120 feet back there. Gardner-McKinnon's 0-2 has popped up, and that'll drift out of play. Got some bad news for the kids running to get that foul ball. There's probably one person in this park who can get that, and it's our camera operator. The 0-2 is drilled to left field. This will extend the game. Base hit into the corner. And a double at that. Good spark with 1 out here for Syracuse.
Yeah, this is a really nice piece of hitting by Posner. Gets beat inside a tab, but has enough power to get it out to the left field corner, gets the double, and that's got to feel good for the senior. We talked about it, Evan. We've talked about it at length, but just takes one swing, and you could see the smile. And that's all it takes to feel like yourself again. And so if Syracuse is unable to make the comeback here tonight, that certainly is a bright spot for Shannon Depking and Taylor Posner and the rest of this team.
Kaimi Talua now up. And she's hacking first pitch. Smart play to the plate. Now the rundown. Rodriguez the tag. Now a chance to end it. Back to third, and the double play secures the series for top 25 Duke. Good defense, Marissa Young's ball club combined with 3 home runs. Secure game 2 of this doubleheader.
And how about Tessa Mala'ulu doing it on both sides of the ball? Here, fields it perfectly, checks the runner, sees that the runner is committed, gives it up to Kyrie Rodriguez, who runs the runner back, does a nice job recognizing she can make the tag, and then sees Posner hung up, gives it up, gets out of the running lane on a goal there, makes the tag. Game over. Series won by Duke, and the offense really came alive, Evan.
A fun doubleheader started with a walk-off in Game 1 and a Duke power show in Game 2. For Rainn Wilson and our great crew here in Durham, I'm Evan Budrovich. Game 3 tomorrow, ACC Network, 2 o'clock, as Duke takes the series here in Durham.